Some are protesting the atrocities committed by Hamas. Some are advocating for Palestinian rights. Some are crossing the line from advocating for Palestinian rights into gleefully rooting for atrocities against Jewish civilians. CNN's Nick Watt is on the campus of UCLA as some students feel the existing undercurrents of anti-Semitism on college campuses rising to the surface.
A so-called Day of Resistance on campuses across the country, called by National Students for Justice in Palestine, which hails the Hamas terror attacks as a historic win for the Palestinian resistance across land, air, and sea.
That's the justification of the murder of Jews, as we've seen throughout history, under a different name.
At San Diego State, one pro-Palestinian protester said this.
We're not for any lives lost, no matter what, Palestinian or Israeli.
We found that 57% of Jewish students in the U.S. have experienced or seen anti-Semitism. That was before this occurred. Now we're seeing the levels rise, the incidents rise, the complaints rise.
At Harvard, a statement released within hours of the attacks begins, "We, the undersigned student organizations, hold the Israeli regime entirely responsible for all unfolding violence." Some have recanted after a backlash that included a billionaire hedge fund boss asking Harvard to name members of the groups that signed, so none of us inadvertently hire them. Last night, their names and faces emblazoned on a truck in Harvard Square by a conservative organization. Such intimidation is counterproductive, said Harvard Hillel, a Jewish student group.
The conversation about what is and isn't productive discourse is something that we're seeing really taking shape.
A major UPenn benefactor has called on other alums to close the checkbooks after what he said was college leaders' apparent failure to condemn the views of some speakers at a recent Palestinian literary festival on campus. Even after the Hamas attacks, college officials have condemned anti-Semitism. Los Angeles Tuesday, a pro-Israel rally just a stone's throw from the UCLA campus. The Cultural Affairs Commission of UCLA, a student group, posted Monday, "We honor the Palestinians on the front lines, taking their land and sovereignty back." They say this is not anti-Semitism. Judaism is separate from the political movement of Zionism.
These are UCLA organizations, and they have the permission to say these things. It's absolutely absurd.
I mean, you're holding an Israeli flag. Is that something you'd be okay doing on campus?
Oftentimes on campus, I feel scared to hold a flag if I'm not with a big group. There's a lot of anti-Semitism on campus, and it's always felt at all times.
We are now on the UCLA campus where a pro-Palestinian rally is about to begin. Listen, Jake, this tension is only going to get worse over what happened and what will happen in the Middle East, and over where that line is between standing up for Palestinian human rights and glorifying murder. Jake?